Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the 116 Life, Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm one of your hosts, Ace Harris, here with the amazing, the eclectic, the very well-talented, well-spoken, going viral in these streets for her 116 Life clips, Meah Evans. What's up?
What's up, Ace? Eclectic. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you got the drip, you got the, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all know Ace be showing out, so I knew he was going to wear his Versace today. So I was just like, let me at least try a little something. How you been, Ace? How was your week?
I'm good. It was really good. Last night, the 1K Few show, the Pray for Atlanta tour,
listen.
fire, super dope. That's my dog, man, in Atlanta. And then one segment which I got hyped for when they was like, the DJ was like, yo, naming all the sides of Atlanta. He was like, shout out to my east side, you know, and they went to the west side, they went to the south side. Uh-huh. When they got to that north side, I almost lost it because it's like I was looking for RG. I didn't see him at the moment.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Yo. But you know, and it was because it was good to see Atlanta, you know, in Few and coming like a hometown show.
Yeah.
It,
and Few's been putting on for the city, like always been true to the A.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So for his first headlining tour, for him his home city to show out and sell out, like
crazy.
Is like insane.
Super crazy. How you been though? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm real optimistic about like just life, Ace. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've been reaching my goals lately, and like I'm just really happy about it. You know what I'm saying? I just had a time where I was just thinking. After one day, I was like, I feel like I'm just like wasting like this time. I feel like I can be more productive. So I was just like divvying up things. If I can be honest, I got a bingo card. So I was just putting my goals in my bingo card. And I was like, okay, the goal is to get bingo for the first quarter. So I was like, I've been marking things off, and Ace, I've been hitting bingo. So I'm really happy
you organized
about
with your goals.
Man, I'm just really trying to just hone in. I'm trying to be locked in. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you need life coaching, Meah has a course available right now at meahevans.com.
Listen.
Get your life right.
Get your life right, you know. Hit you with that fee. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't know, y'all haven't been hearing it, but Ace real musical. He been singing off air and whatnot. You seem in a real creative mood. How you feeling about music and just things like that?
I would say right now my creativity has been resurrected. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the first couple months of the year. It was like trying to find the space, and I feel like God's been giving me and the team a fresh creativity. And it feels good. Sometimes you have to kind of go through the low moments to like come alive again. So speaking of that, it's about that time. It's like, you were talking about goals, which I think first quarter energy, all my achievers be on it.
Yeah.
And then second quarter,
then Q2 comes.
It's like I feel like the Easter season is like a good like mark of like, all right, we're about to enter the summer. Things are changing. How you doing? And speaking of like, us approaching like, Easter season, like I think it'd be dope for us kind of just to talk about as Christians, as believers, what this holiday means. How do we participate? How do we engage it? Because there's just so many nuanced perspectives on it. So I'm just curious, like, what was it like for you, Meah, growing up in your household? What was Easter like? Easter Sunday, Easter season? What was that like?
So starting out, it was Easter, so woke up, Easter baskets, you know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Candy, toys. Mom had the dresses, the ruffle socks, ladies, you know what I'm talking about? Like that whole shebang. It was like that for probably like, I think until I was maybe like 5th grade. And then one Easter, it just stopped. And I was like, Mom, where'd the Easter bunny go? I remember I would have like an excitement.
Y'all did the whole thing.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, the Easter bunny is coming. I'm about to get my eggs, And I woke up one day and it just, nothing was there. And then I remember I asked my mom, we went to church and we left. And I remember I said to someone, Happy Easter. And they were like, no, Happy Resurrection Day.
Oh God!
And I was like, okay.
Was it or was it not a deacon who said that?
It was someone it was a greeter.
Them greeters be mean, bro.
Mean, man. And I remember I asked my mom. I said, Mom, why didn't we get any Easter baskets? And she was like, well, you're too old for that now. And then now it's time for you to truly know, what the real reason for the season is. And it's not about the Easter bunny. It's about Jesus. And I was like, well, what the Easter bunny do to Jesus? You know what I'm saying? So there was a time in which it started off as Easter and all this, and then it was a transition into Resurrection Sunday. Sure. Here's really what it's about. Here's why we really celebrate. So what was it like for you? I'm curious. Because your dad was a pastor.
Yeah. But hold on. So that, did it shift in the church all of a sudden, or was like a gradual? What?
It was gradual. Okay. It was truly gradual.
Because the way he said it, the greeter is almost like last year we doing Easter Monday. This year, hey, happy Resurrection.
I was kind of like, man, what happened?
Taking all the fun out of this joint.
I know. So it was an adjustment, but I mean, I guess it was necessary. It was a hard turn. You know what I'm saying? I missed my baskets.
Hard repentance.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a shift. It was a shift for sure. So what about you?
I feel like, man, for what I can remember, I just remember everybody dressing up colorfully, you know what I'm saying? Colorful outfits. It was like a big day at our church.
Yeah.
I don't think my dad has ever been very like holiday festival driven. The coach, I feel like the church culture was, everybody dress up. There was like Easter egg hunts and stuff coming up. It was like, but it wasn't really emphasized in a way where I can like reflect on like the real meaning. I was probably so young. I think maybe as kids we could do a better job of helping them to understand what we're doing on Sundays, other than just because you kind of grew up with this expectation of like Easter Bunny, I was Easter eggs.
The Easter Bunny is coming. We got to get ready. And then it just shit. So I agree with you. I think we could do a better job.
Yeah, it's like set the temperature of what we're doing. But I think sometimes the pervasive culture of Easter invades even like a 5-year-old brain so early where you lose what it's about. So for me, I remember people dressing up. I remember like the church service was a big deal, celebration. And then like family dinners afterward was always cool. It's like I remember I think like flowers starting to bloom outside. My sister's birthday was always around then. But actually, as I'm talking about it, I'm like, it was actually great times. Like a lot of great memories of just joy and fun. But again, I don't know if the real essence of the celebration was like in my brain up until I became an adult. Yeah. Not to blame my parents or my church. I just don't know why that was the way it was. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the shift of where it happened for you, where so you started to really grasp the resurrection and things like that?
I went to this church and there was this greeter.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding.
What's up with all the greeters out there?
Can we just talk about the greeters in the black church for a little bit? Like,
man.
They didn't do some hospitality training.
They do. Why are they so mean?
Yo, I went to this one church. It wasn't Easter. We won't get back to Easter, but the pastor was handing out like programs, like little like it was like a special service, and one of the guests who was not a member was there, and they was like passing the programs out, and she took the program back from the guests. So, this is only for members. And I was like, yo, fam, hey, how do you welcome people into the church? Your greeters be on. They're like, they remind me of? What? Remind me like bouncers at the club a little bit.
No, but oh my God, I'm about to tell you a story, Ace.
Like,
okay, we're going to get back to it, but listen. Yeah. So I went to a mega church, I would say. So attendance was probably like a good couple thousand, you know what I'm saying? So we had a balcony.
Sure.
And me and my friends, we would always try to sit in the balcony, but you had to wait till like after a certain time or until it was full on the main level for them to open up the balcony.
Sure, open up the VIP.
Yeah, right, you know what I'm saying? So we wanted, but we was kind of like, I grew up at this church. I've been here forever. I know everybody. I know protocol. Let me through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When I tell you those ushers, them greeters, they were not moving. They were like, no, who are you? I was like, sir, I was basically born on the pew. If anyone can go up there, I'm not some outrageous youth just trying to go. I just want to go up. I like the view from the balcony. No, you cannot. No, please sit down. Or we have to wait until it's full on the bottom. And I was kind of like, you would have thought they were linemen on a football team, how they were just ready to block, and they were not. Ushers don't be playing.
They don't be playing. I think it's culturally something that I've experienced too a little bit. Like,
for real.
It's like a very like protective nature.
Yeah, it's like you would think it would be more like
gentle and what? Hey, you know what? If you want to go to the balcony,
I had a woman follow me around one time because I was even chewing gum. I had a peppermint, and she walked around. With the glove.
What about? Hold on, she had the white gloves on.
Yes, with the glove, and she was like, I was just looking like it's not gum. No, I know. And I was just like, man, I can't even have the peppermint.
They screening people with chewing gum in the church.
She had to be looking hard because I was almost done with my peppermint. She had to be looking real hard. I think that's
interesting because like all those cultural things, even like Easter, there's like a. Somebody told this before. They were like the church. Ty Tribbett actually kind of went viral for this comment he made about the church, which I understand what he was trying to say. Maybe it rubbed people the wrong way. I don't know if you remember what he said.
Yeah.
For those who hadn't heard it, he said, the institution
of church is
whack. It was very pointed, maybe not very clear as to why, which I understand. Gotta give a little, it can't fit people. But I do feel what he's trying to say is, and so this reminded me of something that somebody else told me, which was the church gathering is actually for the Christian. It's made for Christians. It's not really made for unbelievers, for real.
That's so sad, man.
And so somebody had a reference point of like theologically, that could be a good thing in that it's preserving the essentials of the faith, so that you have to, in order to really align or really to really become a member, or to really like, you got to really, know your word, know your truth, all that thing. So I get why someone can argue that, hey, it's not that we just want to let anything fly. We want to protect the purity of this institution. Yeah. So we're going to cater to other people, but we not like it's made for people who actually have a faith in Jesus. But then on the other side of that,
that's so harsh.
It seemed a little harsh, right? And then on the other side of that is like, I get how like programs like Easter are almost meant to like reel people in, especially with attendance, ties, programs, members. And then you're like, I wonder if this programming is really bringing them to the Lord, where you're coming to experience like a doctored up version of a church program. That's like a production. Yeah. That felt good, but do you leave with your heart wanting to like truly resurrect or whatever? So
yeah. Sheesh, I feel that. And that's so sad, man. Only because it's important. We want to bring in the found, but we want to bring in the lost. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So that's heartbreaking to hear this, or even just to we witness it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I mean, we see it. You know what I'm saying? So man, that's so tough, yo.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's one of them things where I'm just like, I definitely understand church culture and like what Ty was, trying to communicate. Yeah. What we've experienced with like the ushers, the guys, all these little nuances that someone who didn't grow up in church, they would come to a program and be like, yo, what is that?
Like, this is extreme.
I'm not coming back.
Yeah. And
you cool, but your
cool.
people weird.
But your people, no.
They weird, bro. So I think I'm definitely want to get into the next. I definitely want to get into a little bit about how we celebrate Easter and how it's perceived culturally. So stay tuned, y'all. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm one of your hosts, Ace Harris, here with the amazing
Meah Evans. We'll be right back here on the 116 Life. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Welcome back, y'all. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm your host, Ace Harris, here with Meah
Evans.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
That conversation was funny.
It's funny talking about the bouncers of the church.
Yeah. Security.
Security be on it. Shout out to security.
No, shout out
at all churches.
You got to make sure the first lady and the pastor protected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For real,
got some crazy out here. But yeah, I mean, even like, some people like, I know that we had talked on this segment last year about certain popular churches and how they did their Easter programs and. Easter's always kind of been like a cultural draw in the South. It's like people who are God believing, but not maybe religious practicing, professing of Christ, but not necessarily Christ centered. Yeah, they for sure come to church on Easter
to show respect and to do it for grandma, to do it for mom and them.
It's a big deal. Kids get their hair done.
Oh yeah.
Ladies get their nails done.
The 3-piece suits. You know what I'm saying? Like who had never worn a suit before in their life. You make sure you get it for Easter Sunday.
Why do you think people like? Is it just like what's the root of the heart behind that? You feel like is it? Yeah, I guess it means well. Like what? What do you think?
I mean, I think sometimes those people who aren't in church all the time, but make sure to come for Easter or Resurrection Sunday particularly, I think maybe they do it just because they maybe think it's protocol.
Okay.
Like maybe like they don't want to rub anyone the wrong way if they show up in just a regular dress shirt. Like they think that they don't want to be judged. You know what I'm saying? Like they think that if you have to come to church, you gotta come this way. But if you come on Easter, you gotta come correct. You know what I'm saying? So I think they think that they're just trying to make sure that they fit in. I think honestly, now thinking about it,
that's a good
what do you
point.
think about that?
I mean, I'm kind of sitting on what you said a little bit. I didn't think about it like that. Almost like we would probably come more often, but we don't want to like, we can't really play this part every Sunday.
We don't want to step on any toes by me showing up with a baseball cap on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, by me wearing gym shoes. So I'm going to just make sure I'm just dressing my Sunday best, my Easter best, you know what I'm saying?
My Easter suit.
Yeah, you know, I think that could be a part of the reason.
That's a good, or maybe too, there is a little bit of, God, I'm going to get right. I'm going to like, I think it's also, I mean, maybe people are sincere about it, Meah, but like.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I know I ain't really been in church. Not that being in church is an indication of you being with God. That's not, I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been with God or in church. So, well, God, I got you. I'm going to make sure I'm down Easter because I know this is Joe. I know this is you.
I'm dressed to the nines. I got you. Know? I got my point. I got my alligator shoes on. Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
I mean, I'd be able to make it every time. I'm gonna make sure I'm there because these days, I know you care about these Sundays.
I know you care. And all days, you want if it ain't Christmas, a Mother's Day, I'm gonna show up for Easter.
I'm gonna show up for Easter.
Yeah, that's real.
And I think maybe it's a way of like internally purging. Like some of the things that they feel like they haven't been living up to. So I'm coming on Easter to get right. And so which I wonder if there's what is the heart behind that and whether that's what God, I doubt God really cares. Yeah. I mean, I think Jesus is a come as you are
person.
Type person. Yeah, I don't know if we get any brownie points for coming on Easter and not committing yourself to the Lord. And then for those who are in church, I don't think we get any extra points for making Easter, the program of Easter, more than what it needs, like more than what it is. If it's just if you're so invested in the pageantry of the program.
What you mean by that? Talk
so
about that.
Pageantry, maybe this word can get me in trouble, but I think like the programming, the performance areas, the plays, let's sing.
You don't like an Easter play?
I'm not. Look, my son right now is in a rehearsal for an Easter play at the church.
Who he playing in the play?
Bro, he's playing one of the kids. He's one of the Roman soldiers. And he's this tall.
Them soldiers, so sweet.
Yeah, he's killing it. Shout out Jude. I love you, man. My little man. I'll make sure you watch this clip so you can say I shouted you out on the show. But
But I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like it's almost like let's make like for example, let's make sure that everything is so tight. I'm all about excellence, but guys, it's just one Sunday. Like let's not overstate the program, Meah, to the point where we're missing the reason why we're even doing it. It's almost like you're putting so much energy in like the gift giving of Christmas where you forget the meaning of the actual season. So I just don't want us as people who do attend church to make Easter, to emphasize the programming and so that you lose the true essence of why we're even doing it. So I'm for Easter plays. I'm for having a longer praise and worship service. I am for everybody getting dressed up. Cause I'm gonna do it. Well, I'm gonna step up. I mean, I'm casual, but I'm step
it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm stepping up a little bit.
Just a little bit. Might throw a jacket on, but I just don't want those things to take away from the true essence of why are we celebrating. Yeah. And when I say that, if something in the play goes wrong, it's okay. If something isn't picture perfect from a program standpoint, because you want to make the Easter so perfect, it's okay. Because guess what? That's not what it's about anyway. It's about the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We're coming to celebrate Him, not perfect a program. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I just wanted to like, kind of pick. But also I feel like so we talked about people who are in church, people who profess God and don't go often. Then it's like commercially, Easter's a thing in America. I mean, what do you like? There's commercials about Easter that have nothing to do with Resurrection Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because the word Easter is not associated in America with.
Right.
It's kind of implied, but not really. Like you'll see commercials about Easter all running through your TV. Yeah. Selling chocolate.
Oh yeah, the Peeps.
Yo.
Little Reese's. We have an egg shape. So yeah, you're right about that.
How do you feel about? I mean, I know it's like America's like capitalist country, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? We're not shocked by it, but how does that make you feel? I guess not Meah the 5-6-year-old, but like the grown woman seeing the commercialization of Easter in pop culture without any reverence for why it even exists.
I guess now thinking about it, part of me isn't surprised. Yeah. Because when you think about it, they do it for Christmas.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, and don't get me wrong, it's unfortunate when someone who knows the reason behind this holiday it's not spotlighted. I'm not gonna lie to you. When it was Twitter, I guess X now, I guess would say, I was kind of surprised when I would see things like #Resurrection Sunday trending. And He is Risen trending. Because I was
risen is the one.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of like, whoa, like y'all really be believing for real? Like I remember one time I saw that, I was kind of like, I was taken back because I just didn't really think that, we live in the world where we know people reject Jesus, they deny Jesus, things like that. Yeah. So that's the only reason why I say when it comes to the commercialization of everything, I'm not surprised by it. But I was surprised when I did see things like when the hashtag of Jesus is risen and #He rose. I was kind of like, whoa. Yeah. So there's more of y'all out here. Like I was really surprised by that. Like I don't know. In that sense, that kind of shocked me.
Sure.
What do you think about the commercializing Easter?
I mean, yeah. First of all, that's dope that you saw it trending. That's amazing. I think that's dope. I think it's like any other holiday, and that because maybe as I've gotten deeper in my faith, I'm a little bit more skeptical of celebrating every holiday the way culture wants you to, even as a Christian. So
yeah,
it's not. So some may interpret this as me being like a little like extreme or like deep, but I just feel like for me, I'm not telling I tell them like, yo, Easter Bunny's fake. It's a game that people play. Yeah. Has nothing to do with Jesus. Mm-hmm. In fact, you can do Easter egg hunt. You can, but I don't really care for you to, and I don't want you to take this thing away from what it means.
Yeah.
I do that with kind of all my holidays. Like I don't tell my kids the tooth fairy's real. I don't hide no tooth under the pillow. I have friends that do that stuff. Yeah. I'm just like, no, I'm not lying. I don't want to paint this imagery. So I had a conversation with a friend. They were like, yo, but you're killing a kid's. They was like, yo, Ace, I hear what you're saying, but you're limiting a kid's imagination by being so strict with some of these childlike fairy tales, Easter Bunny, fairy, Tooth Fairy, Christmas, Santa Claus, all that. I was like, yeah, I hear that, but what better way to develop a kid's imagination than the story of Jesus?
Oh, that's so good.
It's a beautiful story. The Easter story is a beautiful story. It has so much imagination in it.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
So why we gotta lean on the Easter Bunny? For me, even if you don't even subscribe to the faith, the story of Easter is pretty fly. It's a dope story. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, Ace. I think you persuaded me just now. Just because I used to think like that. I used to think, no, I want my kids to have, but now I'm thinking about myself. I was talking about my childhood where my parents created this imagery. Nothing against my parents, but when they created this fantasy, stripped it from me. And I was kind of like,
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of just like,
can't do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with like the whole Santa Claus things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Halloween too.
No, listen, that's a whole nother episode of what's going.
Hey, if there's a demonic spectrum of holidays, Halloween's like, wait,
yeah, for real.
Easter Bunny's like,
you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy that you even bring that up. Yeah. But what is a better, more beautiful story than the greatest story known to mankind, the most loving story to mankind? Like you think Christmas, Easter, like if you would have started off with that, like it's okay to introduce saying, well, but culture, the world, they did say like the Easter Bunny, people usually do Easter egg hunts, but this is why. Here's a great story. Here's why we celebrate Easter. Here's why this is an exciting holiday. It's a big deal, and we celebrate it to the fullest. I think grasping that at a young age is really beautiful. And I pray, I'm not gonna lie to you, talking about that encouraged me because I have nieces. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're doing the Easter egg hunt and things like that. But I'm thinking, man, how can I shape them or like play a part in their village and shaping them and saying, this is what this is about. Sure. Here's something that's so beautiful that you would love to hear. Like, why not? Why not?
I think that's so beautiful. I mean, like, and I am not here to try to like kill Easter egg hunts, none of that. Whatever y'all do, like, do you? I don't think it's like it's not even a sin issue. I just more.
But being attached to it though, and like not knowing the real, that's a problem.
That's problematic.
Yeah,
because now you're celebrating the word I used earlier. You're celebrating the pageantry of the holiday, but not the purpose of it. And so it's like, and so it becomes performative and it becomes exclusive of his real cause in it. So. Yeah, I think and even for people who are probably like, but the Bible story, it's so heady, it's religious, and I hear the pushback of people, but I'm thinking like God given us creativity, Meah. There's so many creative ways to share the gospel message, the resurrection story.
Yeah.
From a creative way that I feel like trumps the Easter Bunny story.
Yeah, right.
10 times out of 10. It's a beautiful story.
It is.
And we have to engage kids like the Disney characters that are like amazing. The imagination that's there.
Yeah.
I feel like the Bible has brilliant stories that can be displayed in a childlike way. And I feel like, culture has it. We haven't even made those films yet.
Ooh, so get me started.
Bro, where's the David and Goliath
Where
story?
Where VeggieTales at?
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Because I love that you say that.
VeggieTales is cool, but we can.
Well, no. I talk about VeggieTales back in the day.
Oh.
VeggieTales back in the day.
Sure.
And I'm about to...
VeggieTales is a hit. They got it here.
Yeah, but there's... The VeggieTales now is different from what it was when I grew up on.
Sure.
When like even recently, I was reading the story of Esther, and I got introduced to that story through VeggieTales because of the creative way and the sound way they introduced it to me as a kid. Sure. So therefore, when I read it as an adult, and it's real, it's a tough story. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They left certain those real details out of the child story. However, I knew it because of how it was introduced to me.
That's so good.
What if there's a way for there is a way
Yeah.
for us to be able to communicate these stories to our children, to be able to, so they can be introduced to it, and it won't be foreign to them when they're adults.
And so that's the brilliance of the Disney franchises, the amazing stories in those media companies, and some people have their differences with it. The folklore tales like the Easter Bunny, all those things. So at least the Bible stories can have some like imagination and relevance to a child, so where we don't have to lean on, well, the Tooth Fairy story is like, it's like I feel like we're leaning too much on some of those things to basically amplify a kid's imagination. We're leaning on these kind of like worldly things.
Yeah.
Where I think the Bible has a lot of examples to spur a kid's imagination that we don't access enough.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take on Easter bunnies and holidays and fairy tales. I'm cool, but man, the Bible got some fire.
The Bible be slapping.
It got some always stuff. I don't think it's always been delivered in the best, fresh, creative way.
Yeah.
Specifically to a child, like, you know what I'm saying? But speaking of that, I think it's good, to also just know more about, what it really means to celebrate Easter, like the resurrection. I mean, there's so many ways to tackle that, but definitely want to like tap in with you on that on the next segment. This is the 116 Life, Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm your host, Ace Harris. Meah Evans. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. This is the 116 Life, Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. We were just talking with our producer, Matt.
Shout out to Matt, y'all. He was doing some research behind the scenes and was dropping some gems on us.
Like, so, I didn't like the whole, that's in terms of like why we celebrate, why we have all these things. One of the reasons, like, I'm not a fan of like, even like Christmas, or Santa Claus, like, cause like Coca-Cola pretty much created the American or the world version of Santa Claus, because it was a marketing ploy to sell with Coca-Cola. His suit was not even red up until that point; it was green. So, something Matt said was like the iconography of Santa Claus was created by a capitalistic company to sell more Coke. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like. And then another nugget he dropped on us, which I think leads us to our next point, was like the root of the Easter Bunny. Apparently in Germany in like the 1500s, there was this worldview at the time that that rabbits were like they procreated without like having like conception with without having relations with other rabbits, so they were like having like immaculate conceptions because they never seen them procreate. So that's why they had this. They kind of label rabbits with this like kind of like. To pay homage to like the Virgin Mary, like with this virgin tag. So that's how the rabbit was even found or used as that symbol of the Virgin Mary. And then the eggs came from like, apparently in Lent, they would like try to give up something. And for some reason in that 1500s, eggs was an indulgent thing. So we're just gonna give up eggs. And once that thing was over, they got the eggs back. So so that's, it's like, and then people like take it a little further, and they use these like religious things that invades culture, and people don't even know what it came from, even like Mardi Gras and bees and all that other stuff. So that's why it makes come across to some people where I'm a little like side-eyeing some of the things that pop culture does in the name of religion, because I'm like, it kind of got hijacked by capitalism and I say this word lightly, secularism. Like these things have hijacked these pure things and like made them like not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like a little like, man, why are we doing all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? I mean, tell me your thoughts on that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When we were talking off air, and shout out to Matt, because that was so eye opening. It's just you hear. I just had no idea. Even the whole Coke thing. Like when you said that a while ago, I was like, I never knew that, and I was like thinking, man, like here it is. We have these pure holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And here it is. They're just being. I hate to say, but tarnished in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's taking away from the authenticity of why we celebrate.
Yeah, it is. It's taken. It's like it's you almost lose the true meaning.
Yeah, like it tries to it overshadows.
Overshadows. Yeah, great word. And why do you think? Either culture is just going to do what culture does, or maybe this is my challenge to myself. We have to be more intentional about teaching the real essence and reason for why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So that it can't just be a ritual.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're doing things because it's a ritual, it's going to lose its meaning eventually. Because it's like, yo,
it's routine. It's routine.
It's routine. There has to be a why. If we're just going to do these things, we're just going to check these boxes. I feel like generation from person to person, time over time, it's going to dilute the real meaning because now you're doing it because this is what you're supposed to do. Do you ever feel like you learn something by doing something because you're supposed to do it? Do you personally learn by doing something because you're supposed to do it? Like, how do you feel like you find meaning in what you do? How do you find meaning in your routines, Meah? Like, as someone who is I guess obviously a Christian, but like, I mean, practicing rituals is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
How do you find meaning out of doing these things? You know what I'm saying?
How do I find meaning in just like everyday?
Yeah,
things?
like anything. Yeah. How do you find meaning out of doing something that is routine? Like, what's your takeaway to like learn why it's important to do it? Is it just doing the thing every day make it important, or is there a why for doing it that really makes it important for you? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ace. I hate wasting time.
Got it.
So with that being said, I do my best. I'm trying to even think in live time now, but I do my best. There's nothing I'm gonna do if it doesn't have a purpose behind it.
Say, can you?
You know what I'm saying?
Can you say that?
I just.
Can you say that one more time?
I can't do anything.
That's good.
If it doesn't have a meaning and if it doesn't have purpose, because what am I spending my time on? Why am I doing this every Sunday? Why am I doing this before? Why am I waking up early to do these things? What is the reason? If there's no reason, then why?
I mean that's what I'm getting at. Like, where like not trying to, we're not here to criticize everything. We're just here to look back and be like, maybe we gotta like lean into what we have to, it's almost like a daily reminder.
Yes. Yeah.
Consistent. Hey, we're doing this, but this is why.
Yeah. That's
we're doing this.
That's good.
Here's why. Oh, hey, you've said it a million times. Yeah. But practice of doing the thing is not going to teach you the real meaning of it. Mm-hmm. It's reminding you the purpose of it continually. It's an ongoing process. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I also want to read a scripture, like, speaking of like, the resurrection. Cause I mean, I get, in light of what you said earlier about the greeter being like, no, it's not Easter, it's Resurrection Sunday. Like, I understand how that sounds mean. Yeah. But if I peel back what he's trying to communicate, the purpose, like you said earlier,
the intention, yeah.
Yes, it is, because I feel like the word Easter has been hijacked commercially and culturally. So
it doesn't shed light on the reason, like we were talking about.
It doesn't really. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go to scripture and just read this real quick. What I think is like kind of back to the heart, which is like the real reason why we do what we do, the resurrection of the dead. And this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm going to read verses 12 through 15 real quick, and I think it'll kind of paint the picture that I think God wants us to see in light of resurrection. This is Paul writing to the church of Corinth, and it says, but if it is preached that Christ has been raised from the dead, how can some of you say that there's no resurrection of the dead? If there is no resurrection of the dead, then not even Christ has been raised. And if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith. I think I'm gonna stop right there. Like the resurrection is our greatest case for what we believe.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's our distinction between other faiths, and sometimes with when you're dealing with people who have other backgrounds and other belief systems, like the fact that we're putting our faith in someone who did not die is like the cornerstone of why we believe it so much.
The cornerstone.
It is the cornerstone. Like, and I think maybe we can do a better job reminding ourselves, no, we're not celebrating Easter. We're celebrating God who came on the earth and lived as a man, died, and death couldn't hold him down. And he got up. He resurrected from the dead. And so we're putting our trust and hope in him. And that's why we're doing these Easter plays. That's why we dress in it. Like, that's why the heart behind everything we're doing is because we're celebrating that person. Yeah. And so, I just curious. I mean, how does that make you feel? Just like, hearing that passage and like marinating on the idea of the cause for the resurrection and all that.
That this is truly a celebration.
Yeah.
I think even that's been one of like my latest grasps even over the course of like years. I guess like when you grow up in your faith, you kind of realize, I don't know, you kind of get like new revelations because like when you were a kid, things you interpret things differently. And then now when you're older, you can read scripture for yourself. Sure. You kind of get like a new outlook and perspective on things. And I don't know why, but I just never fully was able to grasp the fact that this is a joyous occasion. For sure. Like we're like this is like our Super Bowl in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the fact that it was a big win happened this day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I love how even you brought in the routine thing because I'm now even realizing of the purpose of you saying that was because we don't want to get into the routine of us just showing up for grandma and them. And we don't want to get in the routine of just doing the Easter plays and doing the egg extravaganza, Easter egg hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to get in those routines, but we have to realign back to purpose. That goes back to that scripture of you're saying like of what Paul was talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, where our faith is this is the genesis of our faith. This is the reason. It's useless. It's useless.
If he didn't get it, like I almost want to think. I'm trying to think of a time. Meah, maybe you can share your story of yours. Is there something in your life that happened to where like you was on the brink of either disappointment or things were looking like it was about to be hopeless? Like you was like, yo, this situation about to be a L, fam, and then out of nowhere, boom. The plot thickens and the script get flipped to your favor. And I want to share something that I think.
Go ahead.
Well, it kind of gives me, hopefully people, a metaphor when Paul's saying, unless this happens, it's in vain. Because he did die. Yeah. Like Friday, he's crucified. My boy went down, but the plot switched. And I was thinking about like when my wife and I, Naza, when we first bought our house, at the time we didn't have what we have now, and we were essentially trying to figure it out. And we were looking at houses, and there was this house that came available in a really great neighborhood. And when I tell you, there was like so many checkpoints to get in the house, and we almost didn't get it. It was looking bad. There was like we had this there was a day in Atlanta, right, where they were giving out like down payment assistance. And we had missed the mark for that down payment assistance. There was like program. This is like back in 2012 where they wanted people to actually move in Atlanta. Now they want y'all to get out.
Right.
And we found the information out really late. And this was the last day to go to at the time, the Georgia Dome, or was it the convention center? You had to have all your paperwork and apply to get this down payment assistance for first-time home buyers to buy within the city. And me and Naza went on a whim, almost were late, go through the process, get to the attendant, didn't even have all the paperwork. Luckily, I was able to find something on my phone, fill it out at the last minute. And when I tell you, we got in that house like 30 days later, and it was looking bad because we didn't really have the proper financing without that down payment assistance. So it was like, it was looking dead. It was dead in the water. Yeah. But then immediately the plot just twisted. It just flipped. The script just got totally flipped. And it reminds me of how the beauty of this resurrection story is. Because we're celebrating his resurrection in light of how dead it was. It was like, it was dead in the water.
Man.
We were out cold, lights out, show is over, devils dancing. We just killed the king.
Yeah.
And when you think about the resurrection story through an experience when, it was going left and then boom, out of nowhere, whether instantly or in this case, 3 days later, we up.
Yeah. Oh,
We up. It was looking dead.
But he got up.
We up. Like it's like, and it's almost like a sports, any story where it's like, bruh, everybody's counting y'all out. It's going bad. It's not happening. And then, we up.
And that's why things like the resurrection, the story is so beautiful because those stories, like how other stories in the faith, stories like the resurrection are ways of encouragement for us, like for you, like the fact that there's a worship song. I was singing a song yesterday where the lyric says, "Here's where the dead things come back to living."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's from the resurrection.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? Like we're able to have those confidence in those things where they seem dead. Down and out, you know what I'm saying? But the whole situation can completely turn around. That's why it's important for us to highlight the story when, like, in the midst of culture trying to commercialize it and our kids trying to culture trying to teach our kids about Easter Bunny and things like that and trying to drive them away. That's why it is important. It's good news. This is the gospel. This is why Jesus was like, I need y'all to tell people about this because for reasons like this, when we have situations where it's dead.
It's dead. Like and people around you they like, bro, it's over with.
And I feel like the resurrection is like the example of that miracle that it can happen. That what was dead can come alive. So when we see things in our everyday life, or we see resurrections in our life and things like that, where things were dead come back to living, we know, it can happen because boom, the resurrection.
Look, it's like I mean,
that's so good, yo.
I can't even add much to that, Meah. Yeah, he got up. We up. It was down bad. But the story ain't over.
It's not over. Yeah,
we good. We celebrate in light of that.
Yeah,
and everything else culturally should flow out of that resurrected event, out of our resurrected heart. It should flow out of that, and
everything should flow from that.
Absolutely,
that shouldn't be the bottom. That should be the You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I'm saying this right, but the conduit, I believe, it should flow from that.
For sure. Versus like being so like good. By the way,
by the way, no.
It's the reason why we have life.
That's real, man.
Right now. I hope people were blessed by that. I was encouraged just being reminded myself of this story and his great goodness to resurrect us. Because I ain't gonna lie, it could have been. I can probably name 1,000 situations where it was like,
no, for real.
I'm sure you can too. Where and y'all, I mean, people like it was dead in the water. God flipped the script. God resurrected and brought that situation back to life. So hope that marinates with y'all. Go celebrate Easter. It's the 116 Life. Go celebrate Resurrection Sunday.
Right.
It's the 116 Life. Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. See y'all next week.